Another Saturday, another autocross. You all know how it goes. Excited to be back out here. Not so excited about the 96 degrees I'm looking at on the dash, but aside from that, it's summer here in Charlotte out at Z-Max Dragway. Excited to tell you about how the day went, but before we dive into that and the runs and everything else, I want to give you an update on the car. Obviously, you all saw the video of this car on the dyno after we added the Steeda filters, pulled out the carbon traps, and after the AWE exhaust system, picked up 9 horsepower, 439 horsepower. If you want to see that video, be sure to go back in the channel and check that out, where I break everything down about how Dan at Pro Dyno did the runs. Aside from that, I had an alignment on the car. I'm running the Belgian 19x11s again with the 295/35 Yokohama square with the 1-inch spacer up front. Those tires are properly scrubbed in. I'd say it's probably like peak grip right now, aside from the heat. If I was able to keep the tires cool, I have good grip out there. I slammed the camber up front with the Steeda camber plates as far as it'll go, so that should be about 3.2 degrees. I'll confirm that when I take it to get the alignment put back to the street specs. It's a little bit stood up in the back. It's about 1.2 degrees from that street alignment. A little bit too stood up for my opinion, but that's what they ended up giving me, so probably going to bump that back to 1.6, 1.7 for the next event. But really happy with how the car performed today. So without further ado, check out the best run and we'll go from there. So today was an interesting day. I always love autocrosses because it is very fast, right? Fast inputs, quick on the steering wheel, hard on the gas, hard on the brake. It really tests your reaction time. It tests your connection to the car, the seat of the pants, exactly how you as a driver are connected to the car and ultimately to the pavement or the concrete or whatever surface you're racing on. And out there today we had, I think, 156 racers, something along those lines. In CAM we had 9 racers. So for this local event here in the CCR region at Z-Max, they combined all of CAM, so CAM S, CAM T, and CAM C. CAM C is your Mustangs, your Camaros. CAM T is your older older Cam cars, older Camaros, older Mustangs, things like that. And Cam S is your newer Corvettes and cars of that caliber. The reason why they combine them is frankly because there just aren't enough cars to separate Cam across the board. And they do the standings by PAX. PAX is the modifier. I've explained this in previous videos, but for those of you that are familiar with golf, it's essentially a handicap. So Cam T is going to be the slowest of the three, so they're going to have the highest multiplier, and Cam S is going to be the fastest of the three, so you're going to have the lowest multiplier. PAX makes it even across the board, so they can group all of Cam together and make it an even playing field. And same thing with PAX for the full day, for the full list, make it an even playing field across all classes. So it was a little bit dramatic, mostly between me and Pete. You guys have seen the last video where Pete and I actually co-drove the Dark Horse at the national event here, and it was neck and neck then. I knew it took me a second to get used to the Dark Horse, and I feel pretty confident behind the wheel, at least in an autocross setting. Thankful to time behind the wheel this car, but also the Ford Performance Racing School and the Dark Horse Track Attack. That was an absolute blast. If you have a Dark Horse, make sure you make the time to get out there. It is 100% awesome that Ford offers that as an experience to anyone who purchased a new Dark Horse. And the best thing is, if you now have a new Mustang GT or a new Mustang EcoBoost, they're offering a similar experience called Mustang Unleashed to those people as well. So basically, if you have a brand new Mustang 2024 and up, look into it, because it's an awesome experience that Ford Performance Racing School puts together for everybody. So with that said, ended up number 2 in Cam today, so that's by PAX. The fastest Cam C car, although there was only 3 Cam C cars out of the 9 in Cam total. The number 1 was Jinx Jordan in a older Camaro. Not exactly sure what year. I want to say mid 80s, but that car is prepped and a very, very, very talented driver. He ended up number 1 in a Cam T car, so he had a little bit help on that modifier. Technically, I did raw time him, but nevertheless, PAX did its job and made it even across the board. So he was number 1 with a 50.7. I was able to get number 2 with my little cup trophy. Pretty cool. Pretty freaking neat there. Excited to fill that with a nice cold one when I get home. With a rerun, I was able to get a rerun because there was a cone down. I was able to point it out. I stopped, pointed it out, and able to get a rerun at the very end, and ran a raw time of a 61.5 in comparison to that Camaro 61.8. But after the PAX modifier, it was a 50.7 for the Camaro and a 50.804 for me. Very, very close behind me. Very close. Was Pete in the banana yellow EcoBoost. A great driver, great friend. He ran a 61.548 raw time in comparison to my 61.506. So very, very close. It was a very, very fast course today with lots and lots and lots and lots of slaloms. The whole darn course was slaloms, which is good and bad. On the backside, I was really able to open it up. Honestly, I was in a little bit of a 4-wheel slide at one point because I was so opened up. I actually topped out second, hit rev limiter, but I didn't have quite enough time to shift to the third and then back into second for the next element. But pretty cool nonetheless. Just a lot of weight to throw back and forth. And I knew that Pete had the advantage in terms of the EcoBoost and being probably 300 plus pounds lighter than me. So it's a lot less weight to throw back and forth in a slalom. But thankfully, I was able to pull it ahead. PAX time was 50.804 for me, 50.839 for Pete. And after that, Corvette number 4, he was Cam S, and technically this is where Cam S cars are a little bit faster. They have a little bit less help on the PAX modifier, 60.104, so technically he was 4/10 faster than me raw time. But because of PAX and that ultimate equalizer, he ended up with a 50.968. So it it was an awesome day. I really was happy with how the car performed. I was nervous with the yokes, the Yokohamas, simply because these tires do not like heat, and a 96-degree heat. It was a little touch and go there, but I watched the pressures. I had water with me, so I was able to cool them down in between runs. These tires seem to like a little bit more pressure. For those out there running an S650 or a heavier S550 with these tires, just food for thought. I was running 37 pounds in the front and 35 in the back. For those of you out there who've run these tires or anything similar, let me know below in the comments exactly what pressures you're running. Totally open to trying things, but these tires seem to like a little bit more pressure due to the softer sidewall. But nevertheless, really happy with track mode, the MagneRide, the camber up front. I wish I had a little bit camber in the rear, but I think that it all worked out because the car felt neutral. It didn't feel like it was tail happy or anything like that. Anytime it was slipping, I figured it was because of tires, because it was just so darn hot out there. So follow along and comment below. Like, let me know your thoughts. I really do enjoy doing this autocross stuff. I enjoy sharing the knowledge and experience. I'm no expert, so if you have any thoughts or anything to add, please let me know in the comments. But aside from that, I also want to hear from you if there's any more technical deep dives I could go into to help educate. I love sharing the knowledge and experience, so let me know. Other than that, hit the like button, subscribe for next time if you want to follow along. Really enjoy doing this sort of stuff, so happy to have you on board. And other than that, we'll see you next time.